Thank you. Welcome everybody to Junior Shire Council's ordinary meeting of 18 August 2026. We're opening our meeting with a prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I'd like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people, the traditional custodians of the land. Pay respect to elders both past and present, and extend that respect to other community members. In accordance with Council's Code of Meeting Practice, this Council meeting has been recorded and will be placed on Council's webpage for public information. All present at the meeting are reminded that by speaking, you are agreeing to your view and comments being recorded and published. I'd also like to remind Council as we start that during all our discussions and deliberations, we should be respectful and mindful of those present. We should at all times listen without interrupting and use words that do not personalise the individual, nor should they be offensive in any way. Whilst discussion, debate and undermining is encouraged, please let us keep our discussions productive, civil and inclusive. Junior Shire Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures during this council meeting. I swear that I will undertake the duties of the office of council in the best interests of the people of Junee, the Junior Shire Council, that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment. Welcome, Mr. Higginson. Thank you. It's nice to see somebody from the gallery. And welcome. Thank you. Okay. Apologies. Now, I received an apology from, or sorry, a request from Ms. Councillor David Taylor. Somebody prepared to move that way, please. Councillor Clinton and Councillor Asmus. All those in favour? Against? Using Bradley Hill, did you say?
Yes. 3 months, I think. I'm not sure.
Yes, please, Councillor
I'd like to indulge, give me a little bit of indulgence for a brief moment. Today's 18th of August 2026, and we're commemorating Vietnam Veterans Day today.
Yeah.
It's the 60th anniversary of the Battle of Long Tan. We saw 108 Australian and New Zealand soldiers from D Company 6 fight against a much larger North Vietnamese Vietcong force, and resulting in 18 lives lost, 18 Australian lives lost and 24 wounded. So we've got a number of servicemen in our area. Just wanted to raise that, have a little bit of a moment of thought. We all live our lives with freedom and democracy and all that through all of these battles that were fought. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor. That's very well said, and I've made mention of it in my minute as well. And although I missed the ceremony this morning, we did go down and lay a wreath at a later time. So very good. I don't know. Did anybody else make the ceremony at all today? Down coming that turn up, but it's getting fewer and fewer, unfortunately. It seems to be the nature of birds. No presentations. Now, everybody had a chance to read the previous minutes. Somebody like to confirm those minutes for me, please? Thank you, Councillor Halliburton and Councillor Knight. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Any against? Carried unanimously. Business arising. Declarations of interest. I have two. Non-pecuniary significant. So I have you voted. In respect of item 3. In that Mark Halliburton is my son, and I'll leave the chamber when this matter is discussed. Thank you, councillor. I've one from myself. For item 4, a non-pecuniary less than significant, in that I reside in Knight Street. I have no objection to the development, nor have I submitted any objections to it, so I will remain in the chambers. Thanks, but I've had figured a relock action. There has been some media attention to the correctional centre. Like we've had quite a few television presenters, etc., chasing me up because they believe that there's some issue there, that we're not being told this and not being told that, and it's in relation to the number of prisoners coming from Goulburn. As I've said here, we have quite a good relationship with the governor out there, and he attends our community safety precinct meetings and reports on all of the things that happen there. And we're still getting our Meals on Wheels and assistance from them when we can. And anybody can write to the governor and ask for assistance at any time. So I think at this stage, it's from a community perspective, we don't have any issues. So just in case they approach you as well, I see that we've got any issues with the correctional centre at this stage. Lovely photo there of Margaret Hill, who was reasonably awarded the River in the Senior Citizen of the Year award hearing, and we all know that she was show me a I had a lot of appointments that day that I just couldn't get around, and I'd love to bring there, but my good friend there, Neville Kashenka from Narendra, stood up, and I'm sure he's just as chuffed, but it was well deserved. So, no doubt we're aware now, of course, the Thames government has jumped on the bandwagon with the Albanese government with respect to the buyback scheme for guns. It'd be fair to say not everybody's happy about that, including my fellow councillor friend here. Anyway, I just think we need to keep the pressure up. And, hopefully, our local member, Steph Cook, can perhaps sway the government to not well, but at least they could come and talk to us all when the people that are actually involved, and our farmers, for example, and the people who make a living out of it, and the collectors and the people that use those collections to tell the story have been totally ignored. And I think that's ridiculous. So anyway, feel free to go to the jugular if you have the opportunity.
The honest law abiding citizens.
Yeah. Yes, we wouldn't be the ones to pay the price all the time. And as my friend Councillor Erasmus here has recognised the Vietnam, have to put it in brackets. They call it now an incursion, something like that. Yeah. But we do remember those brave souls there that didn't return and go on sacrifice. Thank you for your work. So I'll move that minute. Look at the general manager's report. Item number 2, the planning proposal BA 2026-01 in Rodriguez Lane. Did I say that right? Moving that way, councillor Halliburton, thank you. Councillor Rasmussen, second that. Discussion, please, councillors. If any. If not, oh, councillor Clinton, thank you.
I think the comment about the smell from across the railway line is a very significant problem in that area. Having worked in that area or nearby for 16, 18 years, I'm well aware of the issue of the smell, and I just hope that when people buy the blocks, they buy them releasing as well.
And I imagine we've got significant things in place as well for the VA, haven't we? Just to handle that sort of thing, or do try and handle. Councillor Halliburton.
I'm for the proposal. I'm just worried about Albert Street, and I think that we should really look at the one person in particular who mentioned those things with the runoff and covers, that we should really look into making sure that Albert Street is more accessible. We've got a signpost to give away.
Just through you, Mr. Mayor, in terms of the actual, it's all about the zoning. It's not to do with the VA process.
Yeah, I do understand that. I'm happy to hear.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. I mentioned it because it was written in the report.
Yeah, and I'm happy to hear that comment, councillor, because it lets our other professional people here know what thoughts are and perhaps can address. Any other comments? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Any against? I don't think so. So you're against. Like that noted, please, councillor Clinton. All of those against noted. Thank you. Item 3. So the development, please note that Councillor Halliburton is abstaining.
You happen to be in the minutes when we talking about. So up on the screen, it's the minutes from the previous meeting, isn't it? Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Councillors, there's a recommendation there. If someone prepared to move that way. Thank you, Councillor Richard Austin and Councillor Knight. Any discussion, please, councillors? To Councillor Knight.
I'm just making a query when I looked around. Knight Street is actually currently an unformed road.
We're in
We're item 3. Yeah.
Broadway. That's right. Nothing further at all? All right, councillors, I'll put the motion then. All those in favour? Any against? No. Carried unanimously. I care to bring Councillor Halliburton back. Thank you. So for a new development, my goodness, they're making that look so good there. They're putting in such an incredible amount of work, and
Impressive.
it is impressive. So, Councillor Halliburton, you can pass that on to police. That it's a very impressive piece of work at this stage.
Thank you, I will.
All right, item number 4. I didn't put that in the mayor on it because I didn't want to influence you. 4. Development application 2026-33. There's a recommendation there.
I knew that had been discussed.
So we were asking us to. Yes, that's it. Standing orders. Somebody move that way, please. Councillor Clinton. Councillor Halliburton, all in favour? Any against? All right. Councillor Clinton, you have the floor.
It's an area that I
Presume a couple.
Yeah, we're not in front of our ship.
Ah, sure.
It's in killer, I mean.
it's very, it's good to see that that part of town is starting to be developed. I have heard comments that some people suggesting that the name of the street it goes in could be more aligned with the suggest that maybe call it Marchioness Street or Duchess Street or
Yeah, well, I don't think we're in a position to tell her what to.
ask.
We can suggest.
Yes. Other than that, I also believe that the comment is that when you're coming out of that, the laneway that's going to go in, when you're coming out on the top of the hill, it's, and they're talking about an extra 7 movements per day per side. That corner is very hard to see, and I wonder whether the road could be sort of driven the other way to come out the other side.
So you're suggesting that we come down onto Duke Street, that we have to build a new road.
Yes, I just think the drove up there yesterday and had a good look at it. I thought myself, I see what the argument is. It is a concern to me looking at that, but then, as you say, it means building a new road. Someone's got to pay for that. Trying to encourage development. I just shouldn't speak that one.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor,
Thank
I'll
you.
just respond to that. Obviously, yes, it's possible to build the section of road down to Duke Street. However, the path network and the connectivity to buses, etc., is all in the other direction. Obviously, the school's up there as well. So, as a transport factor, it makes more sense to head to the King Street end of things as opposed to the Duke Street end of things for all that other connectivity. But take your point that the actual intersection on what's effectively the crest of the hill has issues that they'll be dealt with in terms of the road safety aspects.
That's just my concern about that site. It's a significant concern. Stands, nobody really wants to be moving for the road to go the other way.
Is there any, sorry, are we doing anything regarding that intersection in this development? Is there any plans to do any?
Just the section of Ninth Street itself will be widened to the width of the full road.
Yes.
So the intersection itself will be better in that respect, but it won't be, well, we can't take the hill over. Yeah, so it's going to be.
I think that when people are sort of concerned about the concerns that have been raised in correspondence or comments on the thing, that people losing their views, losing their aspect, regrettably is something that I don't think we can do a lot about.
No, and we are trying to work to the broadening of our housing, and so we do need more lots like this. So it's yes, I can imagine that. I think there's only one person that's going to lose any sort of view, and the view is of a rather bald hill over the other side. So Councillor Halliburton.
It's really interesting. Could I please ask that page 161 be put on the screen? It's the map
But no,
Ask a couple of questions.
Yep.
Oh. Yep, yep. So, right. So, through you, Mr. Mayor, I've had a lot of thinking and consideration about this, as you all know, and I was very pleased to receive comments by Mr. Jackson. I was initially opposed to the swale drain on the northern side of Knight Street, but having thought about it, I think that is the best option because there will be no access. There will be no access to those blocks from Knight Street. You can only get there through the cul-de-sac. I just wondered what the Red Crosses were for. Probably colouring in or something.
They're trees.
And the trees,
Oh,
really, the trees have been removed, existing trees, significant trees on the site.
oh, thank you very much. I'm just curious about that. With regard to the name, I'm very pleased we can decide the name, and I suggested Viscount to keep in keeping with the other names within the locale when I thought of Royal Street, and I noticed that my esteemed colleague, Councillor Bridget Austin, has suggested Marquess and Princess and Duchess and so on Street. Unfortunately, Councillor Bridget Austin, I find they're a bit of a tongue twister. But I did like the name Grace. And, I'm wondering if we can discuss amongst ourselves a more suitable name than Jewel, so that we can put that into the motion.
so I'll have a comment. Can we force the name on that street or is it's a private development? So I'm in your hands on that one.
They suggest, so, yeah. Certainly give the red one go.
I don't think we can actually tell them you shall, there's all of that.
I mean, if it was an offensive name or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm hoping that we can suggest.
Jewel is still a royalish sort of.
I know, but it's awful. It's not a person.
What's in it?
You're right. The other people are people. There's the lords and earls and officers and so on. Don't forget the knight or the prince or the king or the queen. Jewel isn't a person, and that's why I suggested Viscount. Because Viscount hasn't been used. And then I thought more about it and thought of Royal, and then Councillor Bridget Austin suggested a few names, which I had thought about, but I think Grace is because it's not going to be a very long cul-de-sac, and I think we need to have a shorter name, therefore.
Have a sign shorter than the road.
So I'm wondering how people feel about Grace.
Councillor Clinton.
Why can't we call it Marchioness Street, the female?
Tongue twisting.
It is, you got people trying to do when they got to write it down, spell it correctly. Make life difficult for people.
Well, I think the only thing we can do is get back to the developer and say that it's the consensus of the council that something along the lines of Grace Street would be more applicable to than Jewel Street. Councillor Bridget Austin.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, could I suggest Grace Court?
Ooh,
It is a court.
there you go.
I think that sounds lovely.
Yes.
What do you think about that, Councillor Howard?
Well, I'm in complete agreement,
Very good.
Mr. Mayor. And I wonder how all the other, well, they're all smiling.
Like naming your first child.
So can I leave that with you, Mr. Gentleman, to,
Well, I would like, when we finish this, I'd like to suggest a motion that will incorporate those.
Do we actually need to do a motion?
I think we can,
Yeah.
gentleman, is going to instruct to, our, planning people to write back to the, developer and, can we include it in the, this application that, how do we go about that? In your hand.
Yes. We could condition it, I suppose. The alternative is we could just generally correspond to them and councils would strongly suggest or recommend Grace Court, subject to the naming conventions standards.
Through you, Mr Mayor,
Yes, councillor Hogan.
a few years ago, we named, Cuttle Court and Benbow Court.
Yep.
So, presently, they are. And I think when I read the recommendation, it says that we approve this development, which I do approve, but I was wondering if we could add, and that we suggest the name Jewel be replaced by Grace Court.
So we do.
That was all, and because otherwise the recommendation says that everything in it is accepted, which would include the name Jewel, which doesn't grasp.
What do you get her a paper bag?
So, what do you think?
No, and I completely agree. But if, have we got any further discussion before we, resume standing orders? Thank you, councillor Knight.
Just going back to the letter from the concerned resident, when those homes there were bought, that's an unformed road called Knight, which would have been on the titles and would have been part of their legal space. So there is a road designated there, which could be taken all the way through. If someone wanted to happen. Also, and I'm not dismissing her concerns, but that is an incredibly dusty area down there, especially during harvest, with the grain silo in full swing, even though they do a lot of mitigation. So I do appreciate her concerns, but they were actually already there prior to this application going in.
Any further discussion at this point? If somebody moved that we resume standing on, please. Thank you, councillor Halliburton, seconded councillor Knight. Those in favour? Against? Carried. Now, councillor Halliburton, your.
I would like to move the recommendation and add that we suggest the name Jewel be replaced by Grace Court.
Recorded.
Dual stream replaced by Grace Court.
It was Jewel, what was it?
Jewel Place.
Jewel Place, but the name Jewel Place be replaced by the name Grace Court.
If somebody would second that, please. And so councillor Hinton, seconding that. Any further discussion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Hands against? Carried. Yes, sorry, councillor Clinton.
You second.
Yeah, it was.
And
Very good discussion. Thank you, councillors.
I'm really pleased to see that that area of town is starting to be developed.
Yeah. More kiddies to go to that school and make sure we get treated. Okay. Then I'll move to item 5. 20 votes to 26-27 financial year. There's a recommendation there. Councillor Clinton, you're moving that way? Yep. And councillor Bridget Austin. Any comments or discussion, please? Any comments from staff?
Mr Mayor, as it says in the report, this is basically pushing items that haven't been completed from last year into this new year's budget, which we do every year. So it's taken from last year's budget and adding to this year's budget. They're all capital works programs, so there's no operating items there. So the default is that we tend to revote capital works that are not completed. If it's an operating item, unless we've got grant funding for it, we won't revote it. That's the default, unless there's a reason otherwise.
Thank you. It's just
Yes, councillor Asmus.
out of interest. Is this going to put pressure on our capital works program, moving forward? Like, are we, starting to add in, more layers, which will hinder our program track? And I suppose do we have the capacity to fulfil that? Yes, which I understand this item is an accounting item, however.
Oh, it's also.
That's the outcome of it.
No, through you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, there is obviously the risk that we continue to push a proportion of our budget down the road every year. Director Dale has been working with the team to ensure that, to run through exactly what we are expecting to get through this year, inclusive of this work. And obviously the aim is to achieve the full budget and this. Then no doubt will be some roadworks. Some of these items actually have been occurring through July and August. So, this is as at June 30 pre-voting, but it's certainly an issue that we're well aware of. And, new director on board working with the team to make sure that they're confident that we can actually deliver these and to make sure that we prioritise getting started on things and spending money as quickly as we can so that we're not left with a part at the end that just going to work.
Anything further, councillors? If not, I put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 6, fees and charges. There are a number of recommendations there. Someone prepared to move those recommendations, please. Councillor Asmus and Councillor Bridget Austin. Thank you. Discussion? Any questions? Anything from staff?
Brilliant. Yeah, very much housekeeping amendments, just some minor areas. As a note, there was some sort of rounding, when you round to zero, you get nothing. But those very small numbers do add up, and it's a simple report, $13,000 as line options in the liquid waste side of things. So we very much need to amend these so that we can continue to function.
Okay, so there's nothing further then. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Any against? Carried unanimously. Item 7. Delivery program and operational plan annual progress report. It's a recommendation of the councillors. Someone prepared to move that way. Councillor Knight and second Councillor Asmus. Discussion, please, councillors. Yes, Councillor Halliburton.
Page 210, it says at the top, promote alternate transport services operated by other organisations. I just think that Junior bus services should be included in the comment. Page 216, Mr. Mayor. Yeah. 16. I wonder what your definition of a large business is. Please, through you, Mr. Mayor.
Is there a set definition or? Mr. Hart?
Look, there probably is a definition out there somewhere. We probably don't have a definition in turn for Junior Shire Council. But I can say we do meet junior business and trades on a regular basis. I I know when there's different things or different aspects that come up, maybe a better transport or something like that, like to reach out to the Hamlins of the world. There are other businesses we engage off the cuff as a need, right?
Yeah, I asked two large businesses, or what I considered to be large businesses, 30+ employees, and they said that they hadn't taken part in a local business outlook survey. That's why I asked, what your definition of a large business was. Fourth one, T203A2.
Page we're moving to.
Page 216 still.
Okay.
Got development application and complying rule fitting. Oh, no, forget that. 217. Tourism. March, I've got written down March. For some reason.
Live music.
Huh?
Live music weekend.
Yeah. I still think we, oh, right. I just think that the green spot is incorrect. That's my personal opinion. Page 218. It's got action is partially complete, but there was a green dot. In
What's the title of the action?
Market Juni Shire as destination, the review and maintain contemporary.
well, whatever it said, where I read it, it said it's partially complete.
Yeah, it said that there's a section due for as planned for the new year and partially complete, so
But it's got a green dot on it.
absolutely.
And that was
Contract.
Anyway. 219, got another page. And I would just like to commend council for implementing the workforce plan. And I thought that this was written a bit differently to the past. Is that through Mr. Mead? Is that correct, or seems to be written in the past tense rather than anyway, that was
yeah.
which I thought was all right. I mean, I'm not against that. It was quite happy.
Yeah, I was, through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd probably just suggest that, yeah, as an end of year annual progress report, it's speaking of what has occurred in the last 12 months, so past tense would be more appropriate,
And
usually, yeah.
that's what I thought was I commend that. So it's not all negative.
Councillor Nine.
Just going to page 231, the red dot for at risk. I know there were two actions that one just said it will be dealt with later. The support welcome to Juni function for new residents. Why at the moment is that regarded as at risk?
Yeah, shouldn't be red, shouldn't be at risk, it should be just be optional. It should be yellow.
Okay. Because I kind of hoped that was definitely on the agenda regardless.
That's, you can pick things up. Councillor Jim.
Going back to the question about what is a large business, my view is that a large business is a business that pays payroll tax, which is roughly turnover, staff turnover, billions of dollars. I think that's pretty good.
$1 million.
Yeah. $50 million payroll. Oh,
15.
that's my view. Well, right. It's Thank you. Councillor Knight.
Just going back to councillor Halliburton's comment about businesses. The business surveys that we send out, they're actually sent out to all businesses, or do we target specific businesses when we've done that previously?
Smell, it's have to take that on notice. I think consider what's trend, there's been a transition. Nathan Pratt, as you know, is the civil work in space. He's to take care of a lot of economic development for us, going forward. So different format going forward. So I'll take it taken on that to check.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is it first, councillor? No. No. Second. In favour? Against? Okay. Item 8. Environmental planning and assessment statement of expectations. 26. Recommendation there, someone said move that way. Thank you, councillor Matthew Austin and councillor Hanson. Discussion, questions? No, if not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Any against? Very nice. 9. Service review. The recommendation there, councillors. I'm not prepared to move that way. Councillor Knight and Councillor Clinton said. Discussion, please, councillors. Yes, councillor Halliburton.
Page 266. It's just a matter of, I just don't understand because it's maths. And I'm not a mathematician, you all know. No, this one I can understand a bit. Outstanding dollars at the end of the year. Do they eventually get paid?
Yes, they do.
Thank heavens for that.
We always vary out there to say, you'll see that figure in our financial statements.
Yep.
And I hope they get paid. We're certainly assuming that they'll get paid. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I was a bit worried.
Where that figure can get pretty big at times is if there's a large outstanding private works bill done, for which we haven't been paid.
Thank you. And the one that I couldn't understand is on 268, aging of debtors. I think it doesn't mean the age we are.
No.
I can answer that one.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's a term used in finance around how long you're waiting to be paid. So usually terms up 30 days, and obviously if you age it out to 60 days, you've waited an extra month. So it's very much impacting cash flow. The longer, the more days, the worse. It's a too many birthdays problem. We definitely don't want aging debtors.
We don't want them at all.
No, preferably everything's paid in 30 days. That would be best.
And it's, I suppose that is what it's saying.
Yeah, we've got a very small
Yes,
term
it's like that.
load. After 30 days, it's like $10,000. So that's great. Whereas, pulling 250 grand.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
How did we get the in the aging debtors table? How did we get such a large number of employees as they end up on this money?
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Through Mr. Mayor, the Village Council offers different things for employees, so called in-house fringe benefits. So the $15 referring to there is have all of our staff have taken membership with the GNG, and they're on a fortnightly direct debit system, so they pay for it. So it comes off, it covers that balance. Yeah.
Councillors. If not, I'll check the motion. All those in favour? Any against? Carried unanimously. Item number 10, council investments and bank balances. There's a recommendation there, council, moving that way, councillor Clinton. Thank you, and councillor Knight, secondly. Discussion, councillors? Questions? Right, not tonight. If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Any against? No correspondence. Council committee reports, traffic forum, we have a copy there. Anybody wish to address that as well?
Thank you.
Okay.
I've already had another engagement for that one, that's why I'm sorry I couldn't go. With regards to the A to I, the session for September is 12th to the 15th, and I've noticed that already they're gearing up to do a solid 96-hour work there. And things, doing things. They're very,
The big crossing down near the, I think our main road crossing, aren't they pulling the whole section out and replacing that? Yeah, it's going to be quite some work.
yeah, the culvert there.
Oh, I think it's a crossover, going out to one Griffith line and that there.
Oh, right there. Yeah, well, they certainly are building up to do a lot of work, and they're very impressed with their 450 tonne train. I didn't write that in the report, but they are, and it certainly seems to be doing some good, and I'm pleased to see that our Shire has benefited from 2 grants. And I'd just like to say that the film Just a Farmer was exceptionally was and that's all that was discussed at the meeting. So,
Okay. Councillor Clinton.
And as far as Ilvo to the line is concerned, it's those will be number of people who turn up to the meeting was 10. 2 of which is in the junior council. And it reminds me of the way I learned how they dealt with Sydney airport issues 30 years ago. They just make up their mind, the material thing to do, and they won't take any comments on board. They consult. They will. We're telling you what we're going to do, that's consultation. I think that they are very to go. So, the next meeting is 10 or November or something, then the third meeting 6 months after that, and I think that will be the end of it. Very annoying.
Those reports for the councillor Harry Burton, councillor Clinton, all those in favour? Yes. Sorry.
So through you, Mr. Mayor,
Thank you, councillor. Could you ask?
would I please give a verbal report on the sports committee meeting?
Sure. And I'm hoping that's going to include how the school board's handled it. Thank you.
Okay, so I attended the Junior Sports Committee meeting last Thursday, 13th of August, on behalf of Councillor Knight. The meeting was quite lengthy with many topics discussed and was very productive. The minutes will be emailed to council with further details, but I have highlighted a few key points. Junior Diesel centenary celebrations were held on the 18th of July. They were a great success with strong attendance and very positive community feedback. A key highlight was the attendance of Junior's own Laurie Daly during the weekend celebrations. The State of Origin trophy was also a major attraction and proved popular as a photo opportunity. A huge congratulations to the organising committee. I can't imagine the work that went into the weekend behind the scenes. The Schoolboys Carnival was held over the weekend of the 1st and 2nd of August and was once again a successful event. I've received the following report from Marie Allenby. Carnival went well. We can't do it without our wonderful Junee community and Junee Shire Council staff, as per my letter. We had 143 teams playing, 212 games, with 49 referees officiating. The weather was perfect for football. Group 9 and Group 20 Senior and Junior Rugby League had general buys on the first weekend in August, which allows referees, referee mentors, first aid personnel, coaches and managers to attend our carnival. This year, the decision to hold the NRLW in Wagga on our weekend did have a small impact on us. Approximately 12 teams less, 20 referees less, and first aid personnel were the main areas of impact. Corrective Services New South Wales inmates assisted in the preparation of our fields and the unpacking after the carnival. Junee Rugby League, Junee Junior Rugby League, Junee Soccer Club, Junee RSL Sub-Branch, Junee Lions Club and Junee Can Assist ran the canteens. Junee Show Society manned the fields, Junee Rotary sold raffle tickets, and we had numerous volunteers with no affiliation with any clubs who just volunteered. This year, we employed a doctor and a nurse for first aid. Junee Junior Rugby League also employed them for the League Tag Carnival on the Sunday. The carnival seems to flow on the day. I have assistance on the day from Tim Bailey, NRL referee coordinator for the referees, and Cody Hodge, NSWRL, who coordinated the draw. We have 8 New South Wales RL representatives attend and assist on the day, with some returning for League Tag the next. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone, Marie. I was also advised that there were literally hundreds of comments on the impeccable sporting grounds and facilities in the town in general, which was fantastic. Apparently that was a common theme all day. And lastly, council representative update. Jeet Council's representative provided a comprehensive update on matters carried out over the previous meeting, matters carried over, from the previous meeting, as well as new items raised at this meeting. Jeet addressed each matter thoroughly and positively. The committee expressed its appreciation to Jeet's involvement and support, and he has already established a strong connection with the committee, which was acknowledged and appreciated during the meeting. Well done, Jeet.
Well done, Jeet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big meeting.
So what did they do to get the good weather?
That's 2 years in a row they've had the
I heard the gate taking was extraordinary. So well done to the organisers, and I'm very glad they had a great time. My grandson enjoyed his time too. As I'm sure a lot of my grandson. But
Granddaughters.
yeah, and daughters. So yes, and I should say
Granddaughters.
my granddaughter was there. You're moving that report then. Thank you. And just second that. Thank you, Councillor Halliburton. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. That was an awesome report. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm just another.
Yes, please.
I do have another report on Just a Farmer, which you mentioned previously. I don't know if this is appropriate to read it out now, or will we close the meeting and then I can give a little report out, or what would you like?
I'm happy to hear it. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Right, yeah, so I do have some handouts to give out to you guys later.
Thank you.
So Just a Farmer was held at the Athenaeum on Friday, the 24th of July, and a few of you guys were there. Saw a few of you in the crowd. A big thank you to Junee Shire Council, joining local businesses and organisations to support the Junee screening of Just a Farmer, with guest speakers discussing mental health. Sam Perry and Emma Headland were great to work with to pull this event together. The evening went really well. We were just sorry, I'll go back. This report is actually from Kathy Pratt and Marliese Heffernan. So they were the two sort of main organisers. The evening went really well. We were so happy with so many attending and a good cross-section of people. We ended up with just over 150 people. Formal feedback was not gathered. However, general feedback from various people and groups involved speak very positively of the evening and the opportunity to have conversation about mental health and different ways to engage in support. Our MC, Chris Wilson, known as Willow, a farmer from Wannabadgery, who has shared his journey of mental illness, opened the evening and invited our guest speaker, Lyra McDougall, who wrote, directed and starred in the film, welcomed people and shared a little about the film. We then heard from Emma Bromham, Suicide Prevention Lead, Murrumbidgee Primary Health Network, who provided an overview of why this film is important to raise awareness and also provided a warning that the film had suicide themes in it and that support services were in the room if anyone needed them. The film was shown and then we had an opportunity to discuss it further with Lila, and then we also opened up an opportunity for Q&A with a wider panel of support services. These included Emma Bromham, Suicide Prevention Lead, Murrumbidgee Primary Health Network, Faith Rogers, Rural Adversity Mental Health Program, Rihanna Cameron, Rural Financial Counselling Services, Marliese Heffernan, Active Farmers, Ian Lennox, Rural Aid, Steve Matthews, Riverina Bluebell. People engaged with the panel and asked some great questions. For example, where the first point of call is to support someone needing help. What do you say to someone who tells you they don't want to live anymore? And engage with mental health providers and resources on the night. We also arranged 2 follow-up workshops that were held in Junee on the 5th and 13th of September and were facilitated by Faith Rogers from the Rural Adversity Mental Health Program. One focused on self-care and looking after yourself, and the other one focused on supporting others. These workshops both had around 8 to 10 people attend. I just put together, Kat sent me through a few bits and pieces, so I just put together some photos and she sent through some bios of the guest speakers, and also, most importantly, a list of generous sponsors who provided their donations and time. I thought it might be handy if, you do come across anyone that asks you those questions and you don't know what to say or where to refer them to. There's information on the panel and where they come from, their websites, etc. It was a really successful event. I totally enjoyed it. It was wonderful. And also it showcased the beautiful evening.
I agree with all of those comments as I went to it, and I don't know that you can enjoy it, but it was extremely aware. Yeah, brought out a lot of awareness. It was very well done.
Good to spread it out amongst the community, especially people like yourselves, who the community respond to. Well done.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Howard. I want to add to that, through Ms. Mayor. Catherine Pratt did an amazing job. She secured a lot of the sponsors. She actually wrote the grant application. The grant application was submitted through General Shire Council, but she did all the hard work there. I'd also like to say thanks to Sam and Emma and Kathy. That was driven from the Journey Interagency Group as well. So the Journey Interagency Group reformed probably about 4 months ago, when Sam's returned. So it's great that's got up and running. It's right that group of people sat down and actually talk about this and that. So well done to all the people.
Excellent. It's just good to see those things out in smaller communities. Yeah. Well done. We'd like to move that forward as well, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Sandy, the council, how you voted? All those in favour? Yes. Thank you. Any further reports?
One next meeting.
Right, councillors, there's nothing further. The information booklet. Anything on the information booklet? Councillors that you wish to bring up or mention? Nothing? In that case, we'll call it quits. Thank you very much. Close the meeting. And safe journey time, everybody.
Thank you.